Welcome back to A Minute with Chelsea. This morning I woke up because Charlotte stepped directly on my head, then she head bonked me, and then she got on top of me to cuddle. And then she stood right where I'm supposed to stand to get her food, and I was like, "Excuse me, ma'am, you're in the wrong place. Ariana, what are you doing here?" So she got her nasty little burger sauce, and then I got in the shower and got ready. I did my makeup. This is how I looked before, and this is how I looked after, so much improvement. I had my leftover egg meal prep with some toast that I almost burnt, but I didn't burn. Then I played with Charlotte for a little bit before I left the house because Shelby came over. Because we are going hiking. My favorite thing in the whole world is to go on a hike. We stopped at 7 Brew so I could have some coffee, and then we stopped so I could fill up my car with gas, and then we got on the open road. But we stopped at Dollar General to get some snacks. Not to poop. Surprise, not to poop. Usually Dollar General is for pooping, but today I just got Cheetos and some chocolate and some butt wipes. You never know. We parked my car, and then the trailhead's actually across the highway and then down the road a little bit. We are hiking in the Ozark National Forest. This is the Fern Falls Trail, but it's under Scenic 7 Byway. The trailhead was just a giant mud pit, and then I think we crossed at least 3 creeks. But you know what? I love it. I love to cross creeks. I like when my feet get a little bit wet and cold. It brings me back to reality. It brings me back to my body. Shelby was trying to be much less disgusting than I was this time, but I just gave up and said fuck it and walked all in the water most of the time. The sun is out. It was 55 degrees. I know it's not really spring. I know it's just false winter, but I don't care. And all the rain we've gotten, look at that waterfall. It was perfect. And I think we only saw, 2 people on the trail the entire time? So we were alone for all of it, which is my favorite thing in the whole world. I took some pictures and then I was like, I have to pee. I drank that whole coffee and there's a waterfall and I gotta pee right now. And if I've learned one thing about hiking, it's that if you have to pee, you might as well just do it. There's never the right time. There's never a good time. Just do it so that you don't feel like shit the rest of the day. And then once you do it, you're like, freedom. I feel great. Now I can run around and do whatever I want for the rest of the hike. And my feet were already soaking wet and I was already disgusting, so who cares? We walked over to the other side of the waterfall just to see, and I noticed this little tiny hole in the rock, and I was like, I think that's a chair for me. And Shelby was like, I am not coming down there to film you. You are crazy. So it may not look like much, but I'm sitting on the very edge of the waterfall, and in front of me is definitely death if I were to fall off. But it looks like a chair, and it was just for me. I felt like it was for me, so I sat there. Shelby still wouldn't get closer than this because she said, no way in hell. And then while she was trying to film me, she got her backpack stuck on a tree, and she was like, help me. And I did, and it was a tiny twig. I was like, it's a tiny twig. We were going to hike back to the car because it was only not even a mile. But then we saw the top of the waterfall had this perfect stream with this log, and I was like, I don't want to leave yet. So we sat down, and I was like, wouldn't it be crazy if this log broke while we were sitting on it? And this is me demonstrating how to do Pilates chair work on the log. And Shelby was like, I'm so nervous it's gonna break. And I was like, this log is sturdy as fuck. And then all of a sudden I heard a loud pop, and I said, did you hear that? What was that? And then the tree went down. Only like a foot, but enough for both of us to scream and jump up and think we were dying. And I was like, damn, that log just called us fat, didn't it? And I was like, I'm gonna sit on it again and I'm gonna see if it breaks more. And then we know we cannot sit on it ever again. But we actually broke it so much that it fell perfectly into the mud, and now it's super sturdy for whoever else comes along to sit on it. So you're welcome, our big fat asses fix the log for everyone. So then we sat back down because I was like, well, we could go back to the car or we could play in the creek because that's what we really wanted to do. We had 2 plans, play in creek, take pictures, I guess it was 3 plans, and hammock. But there was nowhere good to hammock around here. I mean, we could have hammocked somewhere around the creek, but I like to hammock at the bottom of a waterfall where I can see it. And Shelby said, I want to try out my life straw. And I was like, yeah, I didn't bring mine. I forgot it at home. Oops. And so we tried it. Spoiler alert, it just tastes like gross creek water. It's not good. Just blech. But that's not the point. The point is it will save your life if you have to drink out of a creek one day. It filters everything. Then I was like, let's set up 2 cameras and take photos for friendship. But my phone didn't go back to 0.5. It went to ×2. Why? Why won't it work? So I went and fixed it and reset it back up, put it on 0.5, and now here we are, being ourselves. If you would like to join in on this stupidity with us one day, we still have 5 tickets left for the Costa Rica trip, and that information is linked in my bio if you want to look at the itinerary, or if you want to grab one of the last 5 spots. The trip doesn't happen until December, so you have a little bit of time. You have a little bit of time to pay off your trip, but if you're going to grab a spot, I would do it before probably March, just to make sure that they aren't all sold out. After we were done at the creek, we packed up, we hiked back to the car, and then we drove to Falling Waterfalls, which is one of my favorite waterfalls in Arkansas. You don't have to hike to it, you just park next to it, and you climb down a flight of natural stairs. And I like to put my hammock up down here in the water because there's so many good trees and tree root systems that you can kind of crawl around on, and lots of rocks. So technically you can hike and hammock, but you're in the water, if that makes sense. I think it feels magical. And I was so nervous. I was like, oh my God, if I sit in my hammock and it falls over, what am I gonna do? And nothing happened at all. It was like sitting in a chair because it's great. Oh yeah, also, if you guys want an Eno hammock, you guys are always asking me about my hammock. This print is a limited edition and it's no longer available, but I do have an affiliate link now. So if you want a discount, just head to my bio. I have an Eno hammock link now. That's so exciting. I love Eno hammocks. They're one of my favorite companies of all time. Oh, I also have a discount for my blanket. It's the Rumple blanket in my hammock with the flowers. If you want one of those, there's also a discount for that in my bio. They are some of the best blankets I've ever used. We sat in our hammocks and we ate our snacks, and then I took out my tarot and I did my tarot about my family and about everything else I had a question about. Then we took some selfies, and then the sun went down and I was like, I know the car is just right there, but we have about an hour and a half ride home, so we might as well get in the car. And by the time we got back to Conway, I was fucking starving. And I was like, let's go to walk-ons. And then Shelby was like, you forgot to change your shirt. And I was like, oh God. And I got a Caesar salad and fettuccine Alfredo, and Shelby got lemon butter chicken, David got chicken strips, and Amber got a burger. And then we all got a bag of these beignets. Shelby and I are on one. Like, we could not behave in this restaurant. When I got home, Charlotte begged for that beignet more than she's ever begged for anything, and she chomped it so hard. And then I got in bed and I watched Golden Girls and I passed out. I was so tired.